Until 2 months ago, I had literally never run properly in my entire life. Even during school, when we had cross country, I was the one at the back, walking quite often with a packet of biscuits. And that's not an exaggeration, I really did bring biscuits to PE. It was like an act of defiance because I hated PE. And I think that relationship with exercise has continued from childhood into my adult life. When I started running 2 months ago, I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified to go outside. Because I struggle with anxiety, I had multiple panic attacks the first couple of times I went running. I felt so bad about myself and my size and how I looked, and I was so obsessed with what other people were thinking of me and how they were perceiving me and my body. You know, and this video isn't just for people who are mid-size or plus sizes. It's for like everyone or anyone that is wanting to start running but doesn't really know how. They just need just like a little nudge in the right direction. So the first thing that you're going to need to go running is confidence. And I'm not talking about confidence in like I'm expecting you to like love your body and love your size and, you know, love how your cellulite looks. Or like, I'm not expecting you to be like, oh, I'm so confident, I love going out, I love running around people. That probably won't be the case for quite a while. And I just want to add that your body doesn't need to change for you to feel confident going running. The confidence that you need is just enough to get out the door. You need the confidence to say, I am scared, I am worried, I am stressed, but I'm going to try. But over time, that does genuinely get easier. It really, really does. If you're worried about running in your local area of people that you know seeing you, if you have a car, you can drive. I did not run around my local area. I would drive, park up, go for a run, knowing that I would probably never see those people again. The second tip I would say is to use some kind of a plan. If you don't just want to go out there and run and you kind of want something more structured, the NHS Couch to 5K app is completely free, and that's what I use. There is None to Run, which is, I believe, not free. Couch to 5K, I believe, begins with 60-second runs, and None to Run starts with 30-second interval runs. It depends what you're comfortable with doing and what you want to do. There's also the app Runner, which again, you need to pay for, but they do usually do a free trial. If you're in the UK, I would just get the NHS Couch to 5K app, and you can repeat the weeks as many times as you want. I'll probably do a more in-depth video on Couch to 5K and like my experience of it. So I've just completed week 3 and I've been running for just over 2 months. If you're following a plan and it takes you longer, just do everything at your own pace. So what if it takes you 6 months to do an 8 or 9 week training program? Are you going to be annoyed or angry at yourself at the end of those 6 months because it took you so long? Or are you going to be extremely happy and proud of yourself because you managed to do that and you kept persevering for those 6 months, even though it was so much harder? Because running does come more naturally to some people. They find it easier. Some people will just find, you know, weeks 1, 2, 3 incredibly easy. But for me, doing weeks 1, 2 and 3 took me 2 months. And if it takes you longer, that's perfectly fine because it's your body and you're going at your own pace. My next tip would be to have the right gear, and you don't need to go and spend loads of money on new stuff. You don't need to like spend a ton of money on really expensive running shoes or like anything like that. In terms of running clothes, everything that I have is actually secondhand. Also, as a big gal, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but I have had these seams come apart in between my thighs on so many pairs of like sports leggings. So you can just go to charity shops or, you know, buy things online on Vinted or eBay. You don't need to spend loads of money. You can just get secondhand things if you're comfortable with that. You don't need to, you know, go and get a gait analysis done and get, you know, £200 shoes. If you've got an old pair of trainers that you're comfortable wearing, just wear those. I love wearing a running vest. This is my one. It's from a brand called Nathan. I'll put a link for their like website in the bio. It's not sponsored. It looks really small, but it's not when it's on. I'll put in some like pictures of me wearing it so you can see what it looks like. And it holds like a lot more than you think it would. Having a running vest means that you can carry, you know, your phone, your keys, a drink, a snack, like whatever it is that you want to bring with you, you can bring it. They definitely have like cheaper alternatives like on Amazon for like 10-15 quid. Because it's strapped around your chest, it's like wearing an external bra that is also just like carrying all your stuff. So I really could not like live without it. Oh, you shouldn't need a running vest unless you're doing, you know, like a half marathon or a marathon. Like, I don't agree with that at all. People who are saying that are usually people who, you know, either don't run at all and don't know what they're talking about, or they do run, but they run fast. You know, they're doing like 5Ks under 20 minutes. For me, a 5K takes just, you know, under an hour, about 50 minutes to do a 5K, because I'm slow, and it's perfectly fine that I'm slow. I've seen lots of comments that are really negative and saying like, oh, you shouldn't need a drink to do 5K. 5K is nothing. And it's like, that's great, Gary. I'm glad that 5K is nothing to you, but you know, as a bigger girl, you know, as someone who's 5 foot tall and nearly 200 pounds, for me to do a 5K is insanely exhausting, and I am sweating from every crevice of my body and therefore extremely dehydrated. And if I did not take a drink on a 5K, which I have actually attempted, I would be sick or pass out. So don't listen to what anyone says about what you should or shouldn't take on your runs, or what you should or shouldn't wear. Whatever is like right and comfortable for you, just do that. If you see someone who's running, whether they're wearing a running vest or not, you have no idea how long they've been running for and how long they're going to be running for. Someone could see you running in your running vest with your drink, and maybe you are just going to go and do, you know, 2K and go home. But for all they know, you're doing 20. The next thing I would say is to make sure that you're looking after your body, so stretching before and after. Also make sure that you're taking rest days between runs if you're new to running. When I first started, I would need to take 2 to 3 days of recovery between each run, because I was so not used to it. It was like my body was going into shock every time I'd go running, because it's something that I've never done and never tried to do consistently. But over time your body does build up strength, it does get used to it. It's really, really important to just go at your own pace. Don't look at what other people are doing, how quickly they can do 1K, 5K or whatever distance. Just focus on you and your own pace and the pace that's right for you and your body. That speed can come later. I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to be someone who runs fast. I think I'm always going to be a slow runner, but I definitely could be a little bit less slow. So just take it at your own pace, however slow that is. I'm not judging you, and no one else is judging you. People are too busy in their own lives and preoccupied with what's going on for them to actually care what you're doing for more than maybe 3 seconds, and then they literally will forget you were ever there. And finally, the last thing that I would say in this video is to just go and do it. I know it can be really frightening and really terrifying and really overwhelming, especially if you're seeing or if you're looking up and seeing a lot of content of people who are at a much higher level than you. That can be really daunting. Everyone has to start somewhere, everyone has to get better. And the reason that I started running wasn't to lose weight, it was to challenge myself and do something that I've always told myself, no, you can't do that. I've always said I could never run. I could never run because I don't like exercise. I don't like running because of my body, my size. I wasn't built to run. I wasn't meant to run. Like, just constantly telling myself, like, for years, that is something that I would never do. And I just thought, maybe I can. maybe I can do it. And if you have that maybe, just that little maybe, I can do it, then that's all you really need to start, is just that belief that maybe you can do it. And then you can try, and then you can try again and again and again, and then you start to see a little bit of progress. You can run a little bit further, and then you run again, and you can run further, you can run for longer, you can breathe more easily, you can think more clearly. I am so grateful for what my body is capable of doing, because I've now realised that it is actually capable of doing so much. Follow people that inspire you, that make you happy, that you know, people that you enjoy their content, people that look like you. If you're very self-conscious about how you look, very conscious of your body being larger, look for plus size runners, look for mid-size runners, look for curvier, like fitness inspiration that's going to inspire you to get out there and do it. I received such an insane amount of support, and I realised actually like how many women feel the same way as me, how many people run at the same pace as me, that they are really slow, but they felt like they didn't relate to anybody. And what I really want to try and do is to kind of like build a community of people, specifically women. Everyone is welcome, but more so catered towards women that just want to, you know, love and respect and support one another and inspire each other, whether that's through running or just every single like aspect of life. So I will also be posting on this channel like vloggy style kind of like content, just so like people can kind of get to know me a bit better outside of like running, because I feel like YouTube's a nice community to like get to know people a bit more, rather than like TikTok or, you know, Instagram reels where it's really short interactions. If anyone does start running from this or is going running for the first time, I would love to hear more about it. Like, just reach out on whatever platform you want to. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you can take something from this, something positive from it, and hopefully see you soon.